Hi everyone, today I'll be reacting to Pokemon's 50 creepiest Pokedex entry. Yeah, welcome in, welcome in. I've been getting a lot of recommendations for this one in particular, especially after watching another Pokedex-based react. So thank you guys all for the recommendations. It's New Year now. Well, I guess by the time you guys see this video, it will no longer be the New Year's, but Happy New Year! But yeah, hi everyone, I'm Maple. I like Pokemon Nuzlocke. Pokemon Nuzlocke! And stupid Pokemon challenges. Yeah, that's me. Hi! I mostly do Kaizo, Ironmon, and yeah, let's just get to the video. I'm really excited to watch.
Pokemon is a kid's game. I know most of you are old enough to vote, but
yeah, I've seen my analytics. I know what you guys are.
Hidden within the Pokedexes are some truly creepy and unsettling entries. I collected 50 of the creepiest, and the further into the video we go, the more unsettling they'll get.
I love fucked up Pokedex entries, by the way. I remember there's like a couple of them. Like one that's really kind of fucked up is like Phantom is like a child that died in the forest. Litwick like takes the life force of people, I think. Is it people and Pokemon or is it just people? Well, maybe he'll cover it. I'll shut up.
Ending with the most disturbing of all. Bladeform Aegislash's shield entry says, once upon a time, a king with an Aegislash reigned over the land. His Pokemon eventually drained him of life, and his kingdom fell with him. Was the king cruel and the Aegislash did the world a service? Or was he benevolent and ended up slain by a Pokemon he considered a friend? A Pokemon unable to resist its murderous instincts.
I didn't know that about Aegislash. Oh my god. I like him more.
Runerigus' shield entry says, never touch its shadow-like body, or you'll be shown the horrific memories behind the picture carved into it.
Oh, this one pisses me off because of how stupid the evolution process is. I remember trying to like find this motherfucker in like Pokemon Sword and Shield. Let me try to find the actual... Yeah, okay, I found it. Yamask has a dual-type ground and ghost regional form. It evolves into Runerigus when the player travels under a specific arc in the overworld after a Yamask takes at least 49 HP of damage from an attack without fainting. Yeah. Yeah, this one pissed me off. This one I was like, how the heck do you guys even get this kind of stuff? Like, for some of them, I'm like, okay, well, you spin a certain way, and I don't know, you whip the cream Pokemon, and it turns into whipped cream. Like, that one, it's a little more witty. This one I didn't like. I did not like this one.
The picture on Runerigus' body is a dragon or snake, but its other dex entry mentions a curse woven into it, which I'm more curious about. Was the painter cursed, or did they curse the painting? Why? What happened? There is a way to find out, but...
I was saying swears, to be fair, therefore curses, when I had to evolve mine into a Runerigus, so... No, I get it.
Only a horrific one. Kadabra's Fire Red entry says, it happened one morning. A boy with extrasensory powers awoke in bed, transformed into Kadabra. The idea of just waking up one morning and not being you anymore, instead being what is effectively an animal.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, though. That's like the entire thing. You're a human, but one day you wake up as a Pokemon. Well, the first one you wake up in like the woods, right? And then the second one on the DS, like Explorers of Sky, you wake up on the beaches.
It's pretty unsettling. And this next entry is in a similar vein.
I love Mystery Dungeon, by the way. I played that shit forever. The post-game for the Mystery Dungeon series is just so extensive. It's like 3 games after you beat your main game. Probably even more, actually.
Yamask's black entry says, each of them carries a mask that used to be its face when it was human. Sometimes they look at it to cry. Maybe the Kadabra boy's mind was altered to make him believe that he was always a Pokemon, and maybe he's content as a result. But with Yamask, we know they remember their old lives. We know they mourned their human bodies. And instead, these people are doomed to spend an eternity as a little ghost Pokemon, carrying the face that was once theirs, but isn't anymore. Azelf's Legends Arceus entry says, the dreaded being of willpower. Legends tell of this Pokemon manipulating the will of its adversaries and turning them into puppets.
I remember the Lake Trio for the Pokemon anime at least. I feel like they were kind of wholesome in comparison to this.
Of its own. The Lake Trio are often viewed as gifts to humanity,
Yeah.
giving them emotion, knowledge, and willpower. But getting on the bad side of dreaded Azelf and it using its control over willpower to turn you into just what is essentially a zombie? What a horrible fate that would be. Parasec's Legends Arceus entry says, mushroom-lacking specimens of this Pokemon lie unmoving in the forest, lending credence to the hypothesis that the large mushroom is in control of Parasec's actions.
I feel like that's like kind of normal for like Paris and like Parasect, even a non-Pokemon Arceus like entry, or Arceus, whatever you want to say. Yeah, I feel like the mushrooms taking control of the actual Mon is like not super uncommon. Besides, there's like mushrooms IRL or like fungi in real life that take control of ants and that kind of stuff. So it's like not too far-fetched from IRL.
Parasec's lore of being controlled by the mushroom is nothing new, that's its whole design basis, but the idea of finding the discarded bug bodies scattered about the forest is a grim reminder that whenever you see this Pokemon, you see nothing but a husk. Mega Metagross's Ultra Sun entry says, its intellect surpasses its previous level, resulting in battles so cruel, they'll make you want to cover your eyes.
Oh my god, wait, I remember reading Metagross's like entry like lately. I don't remember why I stumbled upon his like Pokedex entry. Let me read out one of them for you guys. Ooh, my god. I remember, okay, here. In Sapphire.
Hello, it is I, Shmomipo, and I'm here to tell you, subscribe!
Metagross is a result of two Matang achieving fusion. When hunting, this Pokemon pins the prey to the ground under its massive body. It then eats the helpless victim, using its large mouth on its stomach. Yeah, I remember reading this recently and I was like, damn. It's more fucked up than I imagined. I didn't think they'd describe it in detail.
For this video, I'm aiming for dex entries that are more creepy and unsettling, kind of like ghost story vibes, as opposed to ones that are just like brutal or violent, talking about crushing bones or draining body fluid.
Okay, but I brought it up, so that's okay.
If this video does well enough, maybe I'll make 50 most violent Pokedex entries.
Include
Despite
that one!
That, though, this Mega Metagross entry still fits into this creepy-focused video because of the ambiguity. It goes into no details about how the cruelty is exacted, leaving it up to our imaginations. As shown by this painting, the uncertainty of the darkness can be far more terrifying than seeing what lurks within it. Victory Bell's red and blue entry says, said to live in huge colonies deep in jungles, although no one has ever returned from there. No one who has ever sought out a Victory Bell colony has lived to tell the tale. This one is creepy enough on its own, but later on in the video, I'll show you another dex entry that makes this one even worse.
So they get digested. It is like a Venus flytrap sort of like thing, right? Like the pitcher plants, they have like a sweet smell to them that attracts like insects and that kind of stuff. The insects go in and they never come back out.
Dusclops' Ruby entry says, Dusclops' body is completely hollow. There is nothing at all inside. It is said that its body is like a black hole. This Pokemon will absorb anything into its body, but nothing will ever come back out.
Well, I like Dusclops because the Dusclops with Eviolite in later gens is like kind of peak. It's kind of peak. It's just so tanky.
Dusclops is already spooky, but when you think about how it's just a bandage-wrapped void, absorbing and ending creatures and people indiscriminately, it gets even more sinister. Gigantamax Gengar's shield entry says, it lays traps, hoping to steal the lives of those it catches. If you stand in front of its mouth, you'll hear your loved one's voices calling out to you.
Oh.
This is the first Gengar entry, and it will not be the last, but what a horrible fate.
It kind of reminds me of like mimics in these types of games where they like try to mimic like when you're like in what is it? A party where you have to talk to each other in VC. It kind of like they could like take the voices of your friends and try to like, you know, play them back. Oh, it was like Lethal Company that had that type of mod.
Losing your life, lured into the mouth of a Gigantamax Gengar, tricked into thinking that it has your loved ones captive? Or maybe it's not a trick at all. Gothatel's shield entry says, a criminal who was shown his fate by a Gothitelle went missing that same day and was never seen again. Other Gothitelle entries discuss how it sees its trainer's lifespan and weeps, but this is the only Dex entry where the person sees their fate and dies that same day. Does seeing your demise cause it? Or, because he was a criminal, did Gothitelle show the man how Gothitelle itself would soon end him? Gorgeist average sizes sword entry says, eerie cries emanate from—
I like how it has to say like, here, hold up.
Gorgeist average—
I like Gorgeist average size. Brackets average size Gorgeist, by the way, not the giant ones. I think I have a giant like Gorgeist from Pokemon Legends EA.
sizes sword entry says, eerie cries emanate from its body in the dead of night. The sounds are said to be the wails of spirits who are suffering in the afterlife. The pumpkin may look goofy, but apparently it's a window to hell.
I like this pumpkin because one time I had a Pokemon egg lock where my community could submit Pokemon towards me. It's not my trash lock, which is like intentionally bad. This one had a fight and Garantina, and we had absolutely no answers to it. But it had Metronome, and Metronome rolled onto Toxic, and it was the best feeling in the world.
Alamar's Y entry says, it lures its prey close with hypnotic motions, then wraps its tentacles around it before finishing it off with digestive fluids.
Oh.
I know this is just its hunting technique and maybe could fit into the most violent Dex entries instead, but just imagine it happening to you. Think about being hypnotized and walking straight to Malamar, forced to be ensnared and melted. Helpless
Melting
to
sounds
fight
kind of
back
painful.
or even scream. Chandelure's shield entry says, in homes illuminated
I like Chandelure. I think it's so cute.
by Chandelure instead of lights, funerals were a constant occurrence, or so it said.
Well, why would you use a ghost-type Pokemon as your lights? Look, I know it probably fits like the job description really well, but I think you should probably think twice about using a ghost-type Pokemon as, I don't know, the lights for your kitchen?
People in that house probably died in a variety of horrible ways, all caused by Chandelure.
Don't install Pokemon for your kitchen lights!
Watching from its perch, enjoying its consistent source of fuel.
Well, I guess maybe they wouldn't think it's like, you know, they probably think it's a regular ass chandelier, but still! Oh.
Drampa's Ultra Sun entry says, if a child it is made—
I love this entry! I love this entry! Grandpa to the rescue!
friends with is bullied, Drampa will find the bully's house and burn it to the ground. While Drampa may appear sweet, it's actually a monster. Because imagine you're the parent of a badly behaved child, and you wake up in the middle of the night to your house on fire, having no idea why. And you and the rest of your family burn to death as a result. Bullying is wrong, but this is too far. Sliggoo's Sun entry says, it has trouble drawing a line between friends and food. It will calmly try to melt and eat, even those it gets along well with. Imagine you wake up one morning and you find that your roommate's Sliggoo has melted and eaten him. Or worse, imagine that you wake up halfway through your own Sliggoo doing the same to you. What a horrible way to die.
Damn, but it's like so cute and like friend-shaped.
Mischievous' Ultra Sun entry says, what gives meaning to its life is surprising others. If you set your ear against the red orbs around its neck, you can hear shrieking. Most of Mistrevis's entries are lighthearted and talk about it playing tricks and causing mischief, but this one reveals something much more sinister. What's inside those beads? Is it another trick? Or is someone trapped in there? Behiem's Ultra Sun entry said,
I'm noticing a pattern. There's a lot of Ultra Sun entries that are included in this video that are very like ghostly and eerie like.
As with its psychic powers, it rewrites its opponent's memories. You too may have already had your memories rewritten. Dex entries that talk directly to the player are always immediately unnerving, at least a bit, in my opinion, because it kind of breaks the fourth wall a bit, and they're pretty uncommon. But this one is exceptionally creepy, because it forces you to think about, what did you forget? What does Behiem not want you to remember? Drifloon's Sun entry says, stories go that it grabs the hands of small children and drags them away to the afterlife. It dislikes heavy children. Any Dex entry that discusses a Pokemon killing children is immediately pretty upsetting and is gonna be kind of high on my list. Drifloon is infamous for this. However, this one is not higher on the list simply because it dislikes heavy children is kind of funny.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. Yeah, but the fact that it's like, yeah, it just kidnaps them and then kills them.
Drifloon has another Dex entry later in this video though, which, to be honest, disturbs me a lot more. Duskull's Violet entry says, Duskull's victims suffer an intense chill as the Pokemon siphons their life force away, glaring at them with its bright red eye all the while. That single red eye. The last thing you'll ever see. Banette's Ruby entry says, Banette generates energy for laying strong curses by sticking pins into its own body. This Pokemon was originally a pitiful plush doll that was thrown away.
Okay, but like Bayonet has like that one really cute scene where like a Nurse Joy was reunited with her Bayonet from like a kid and it wasn't vengeful, they just hugged each other and cried. Man, the anime is so much more wholesome than these Pokedex entries.
Banette being a possessed doll is already creepy enough, but it's sticking pins into its own body? It's just, ugh.
Oh wait, that's like what curse is, right? It's like a pin or like, I don't know, something gets rewound into them, for like ghost types at least. I remember the animation from Gen 3, I never really got it as a kid.
Palisand's Moon entry says, buried beneath the castle are masses of dried up bones from those whose vitality it has drained. This cute sandcastle Pokemon drains life out of people and then stores their bones to be used as weapons later. It is all kinds of messed up. Shiinotic's Sun entry says, forests where Shiinotic live are
okay, this one I get. I don't like this Mon. This one unnerves me. It's not cute. But like, okay, here's the thing though. It has like, I don't know. I think I don't like its shape, but it definitely has like Shmuel Maple's face. And I don't like that. I don't like that they have the same face. 2 round eyes and a smile. I know that's very simple, but you have to understand. It's just very iconic, okay?
treacherous to enter at night. People confused by its strange lights can never find their way home again. Fairy Pokemon are normally sweet and caring, but Shiinotic's confusion tactics literally end lives.
It does not look like her. 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 Shmuel Maple's so much cuter. Shmuel Maple's so much cuter. It's fine.
Ghastly's Ultra Moon entry says, poisonous gas comprises 95% of its body. It's said that the remaining 5% is made up of the souls of those who died from the gas. Souls forced to inhabit what killed them, and then likely kill more. What a terrible fate. Cacturn's Sapphire entry says, if a traveler is going through a desert in the thick of night, Cacturn will follow in a ragtag group. The Pokemon are biding their time, waiting for the traveler to tire and become incapable of moving. This would be a truly terrifying experience. You see the cacturn behind you, look away, and you look back. The cacturn are closer. Gengar's Moon entry says it apparently wishes for a traveling companion. Since it was once human itself, it tries to create one by taking the lives of other humans.
Oh, it's lonely.
This one really upsets me. Not only does it reveal that Gengar is another former human, which is unnerving enough on its own, but unlike Yamask, which just wander in sadness, Gengars are serial killers.
Well, yeah, that too, but oh, it's lonely.
Futilely murdering people to do what?
Get another
Create
Gengar?
another body for itself?
No.
Create a child?
No, it wants another
Whatever it
Gengar
is,
friend.
It's horrible.
Yeah, but still.
Hatteraine's Violet entry says, beware of forests that show no signs of living creatures within. You may have wandered into Hatteraine's territory. Hatterene is so horrible that it has either killed or scared off every living creature in an entire forest. And if you find yourself there, you'll be next. Haunter's Fire Red entry says, if you get the feeling of being watched in darkness when nobody is around, Haunter is there.
Oh.
Everyone hates the feeling of thinking you're being watched and knowing nothing's there, but there is something there. It's Haunter. And as we'll see in a later entry, it has plans for you. Cophagrigus' Black entry says, it has been said that they swallow those who get too close and turn them into mummies. They like to eat gold nuggets. Allow me to read you some excerpts from the Smithsonian website that explain how ancient Egyptians mummified dead people. The first step in the process was the removal of all internal parts that might decay rapidly. The brain was removed by carefully inserting special hooked instruments up through the nostrils. The embalmers then removed the organs of the abdomen and chest through a cut
I didn't expect National Geographic footage, damn.
usually made on the left side of the abdomen. The embalmers next removed all moisture from the body. Next, the wrapping began, and the mummy was complete. Now imagine Cophagrigus doing that to you while you're still alive.
Yeah, it's probably that's pretty fucked up, yeah.
Florges' Scarlet entry says, though usually compassionate, Florges will hunt down anyone who vandalizes its flower garden, showing no mercy, even if they beg for their lives. As mentioned earlier, I tried to avoid having dex entries in this video that just talk about the Pokemon being brutal or vicious, but with this one, I had to include it. Because they have the line, even if they beg for their lives, that just makes Florges so much more terrifying. Disguised form Mimikyu's Ultra Moon entry says, a gust of wind revealed what hides under this Pokemon's rag to a passing trainer, who went home and died painfully that very
I love Mimikyu. It's so tiny and threatening.
night. There's another Mimikyu entry that says a scientist saw its true form and died from shock, but this one spells out that someone just walking along the road happened to look at the wrong place at the wrong time and died painfully as a result. It's horrible. Dusknoir's shield entry says, with the mouth on its belly, Dusknoir swallows its target whole. The soul is the only thing eaten. Dusknoir disgorges the body before departing. This is simply a horrifying image. It's one of the freakiest ways that a Pokemon can kill someone.
Yeah, he literally sucks your soul out of you and then discards your body.
Alamar's Scarlet entry says, its hypnotic powers are dangerously strong. Anyone who falls under Malamar's control loses their memories surrounding the event. I already covered the horrible way in which Malamar kills its prey, but this one is worse. Another entry says there's an endless number of people who utilize Malamar for their nefarious deeds.
Well, yeah, I feel like for like criminal organizations inside of Pokemon, like this Pokemon's kind of like really overpowered for what they need to do. You know, their crime. They can do some real crime with this.
Someone with a Malamar could control you and make you do horrible and heinous things, maybe to people you love, and you would be none the wiser. Gorgeist's Y entry says, it enwraps its prey with its hair-like arms. It sings joyfully as it observes the suffering of its prey. Again, this silly pumpkin is actually twisted. It sings joyfully as it watches suffering. It's messed up. Jellison's Black Entry says, the fate of the ships and crew that wander into Jellison's habitat. All sunken, all lost, all vanished.
You know, I forgot they were kind of a threat in terms of just bulk, but also they look so silly. I forgot how silly they look.
Imagine you're a sailor on a ship sailing peacefully through the night, and you catch sight of a horde of ghostly specters in the water that end up dragging you and all of your crewmates and friends down to drown. Victory Bell's yellow
Well, no, I can't swim, so like, that's even worse for me, damn.
entry says, lures prey with the sweet aroma of honey. Swallowed whole, the prey is melted in a day, bones and all.
That's actually some really powerful acid, but it is Pokemon.
I told you I'd come back to it. People who go looking for these Victory Bell colonies, they end up melted. Lampin's shield entry says it lurks in cities pretending to be a lamp. Once it finds someone whose death is near, it will trail quietly after them.
I do find it interesting that there's a lot of Pokemon that can just sense the life force or the life force that's about to end. Like, Gothorita earlier could sense when the human's about to die, and this lamp can also sense when a human's about to die.
Few things sound more terrifying than being followed by a lampant, because it means that your life is about to end. Gothorita's sword entry says, it's said that when stars shine in the night sky, this Pokemon will spirit away sleeping children. Some call it the Witch of Punishment.
Oh, did I say Gothorita or Gothitelle? Okay.
Other Gothorita entries discuss how it controls children to make friends for itself, which is upsetting enough. But this one says it spirits them away and gives it a terrifying nickname. Once Gothorita's playtime is over, what happens to the kids? Banette's Ultra Sun entry says, it's a stuffed toy that was thrown away and became possessed, ever searching for the one who threw it away so it can exact its revenge. Banette's already freaky enough, but it's searching for the one that threw it away? Imagine you're an adult and a doll that you pitched decades ago shows up to your door to try to kill you.
It was Bayonet.
Darkrai does not have a dex entry in this video, but I did consider it because it causing nightmares is pretty creepy. But then I found this Masharna dex entry and realized that Darkrai can't quite measure up. Masharna's sword entry says, when dark mists emanate from its body, don't get too near. If you do, your nightmares will become reality. Think about all the terrible nightmares you've had, from your teeth falling out to being chased by a monster to your loved ones dying. Masharna makes all of that real.
I had like this really strange nightmare as a kid. One time the Earth was invaded by aliens, and then the only safe place in the world was Australia because their animals were just naturally so toxic that even the aliens didn't want to go there. I still remember that dream so vividly.
And you can't wake up from those nightmares. We've now reached the top 10, what I believe to be the creepiest Pokedex entries in the entire franchise. Hypno's Fire Red entry says it carries a pendulum-like device. There was once an incident in which it took away a child it hypnotized. This is a pretty infamous entry, and for good reason. Hypno, a creepy Pokemon already, kidnapped a child. Its fate, unknown. Phantump's Sun entry says, these Pokemon are stumps possessed by the spirits of children who died in the forest. Their cries sound like eerie screams.
Yeah, this is the one I mentioned at the beginning. I think Phantom's cute. Its Dex is kind of unfortunate, but like I think it's cute.
Dead children's stories will always be sad and creepy, but Phantump sounding like the shrieks of the dying child that it is makes it so much worse. Haunter's Yellow entry says, by licking, it saps the victim's life. It causes shaking that won't stop until the victim's demise. As mentioned earlier, if you feel you're being watched, Haunter is there, stalking you, planning to, with just one lick, cause you a horrible, convulsing death. Duskull's Scarlet entry says, in the dead of night, these Pokemon wander through towns in search of children, whose vital energy is a Duskull's favorite food.
There's a lot of kidnapping and missing children for these Pokedex entries is what I'm noticing. Not that I'm surprised, since I've read my fair share of like fucked up Pokedex entries, but I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of missing kids. And parents send them out at 10 years old?
I picture a poor, innocent kid staring into Duskull's single red eye as they slowly die. Frostlass's Sun entry says, when it finds humans or Pokemon it likes, it freezes them and takes them to its chilly den, where they become decorations. I will never forget playing Pokemon Sun for the first time, entering Lucamine's sanctum, and being horrified by the frozen Pokemon she keeps there. Frostlass is doing this exact same thing, and it's creepy no matter who does it. Parasec's Crystal entry says,
yeah, I like Frostlass design though. It's kind of based off of Yuki-Onna, so it kind of makes sense that I guess the entry for a Frostlass is very, what is it? Creepy folklore vibe, you know?
when nothing's left to extract from the bug, the mushrooms on its back leave spores on the bug's egg. I had never seen this entry before writing this video, and it honestly freaked me out. Like, of course I know about Parasec's lore and that Paras exists, it already has the mushrooms on it, but the way this presents it, the mushroom will never let them escape, even the next generation. It dooms the babies, and it's just really unsettling that this species is trapped forever. This next entry is the other Drifloon one, and I had never encountered it before writing this video, and maybe it's recency bias, but I think this one is far more disturbing than any other Drifloon entry. Drifloon's Moon entry says, if for some reason its body bursts, its soul spills out with a screaming sound.
Yeah, I've never read this one either, because the most popular entry for Drifloon is like obviously the one that was mentioned earlier where it carries away the kids, right? I have like dislikes like the heavy children. But this one I've actually never actually read before.
I don't know what else. I don't know what to add here. It's just, ugh.
It's just like, what do I even say? Oh, it popped and now it's screaming. It's just like, yeah, it's just like, oh, damn.
Glalie Sapphire entry says, Glalie has the ability to freely control ice. For example, it can instantly freeze its foe solid. After immobilizing its foe in ice, this Pokemon enjoys eating it in leisurely fashion. Glalie's victims are frozen, but not explicitly killed. That means they could still be conscious while they're being eaten leisurely, forced to suffer for who knows how long. Gengar's Sun entry says, should you feel yourself attacked by a sudden chill, it is evidence of an approaching Gengar. There is no escaping it.
Okay, I know I'm like covering some of the text for this entire thing, but I always remember this one because I like this one part of the Pokedex entry where it says, there is no escaping it. Give up. And I was like, god damn. I do like the Pokedex entries that do feel like they're talking directly to you, like the earlier one about how your memories have been like altered. But like this one was just like, give up. Give up.
Give up. Remember how I said that Dex entries that talk directly to the reader are pretty unnerving? It doesn't get freakier than this.
Give up!
The Pokedex is straight up telling people to give up and die. It is hard to imagine a Pokedex entry that's creepier than that. But there is one. Litwick's Shield entry says, the younger the life this Pokemon absorbs, the brighter and eerier the flame on its head burns. All the Dex entries where Pokemon kill kids are disturbing, but none explicitly say that the younger the child is, the more the Pokemon likes it.
I guess it's like that child had like so much of its life left to live, so the Litwick technically would get more power off of it, I guess? I don't know. I feel like that's probably what they were going for.
Litwick is the creepiest Pokemon out there, and to be honest, most up. Thanks so much for watching. If you
Yeah,
enjoyed this video, check out my video about all the crazy dex entries they added in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Some
You guys want that? Would you guys watch me watch a video that's an hour long, which means the react is probably gonna be like an hour and a half long? Would you guys like that?
of them are creepy, like in this video, but others are weird, interesting, or just kind of funny.
I see Annihilate. Wait, hold up. Let me go back.
All the crazy
I like Annihilate. I like how it's so angry that it died but didn't. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I always like reading the Pokedex entries that just make you go, well, goddamn, that's fucked up. Although I probably sound kind of jaded reacting to these ones. It's just like, oh damn, they kidnapped the kids. But no, it's like I like seeing Pokedex entries that either feel too real, are a bit fucked up, and show you like the darker side of the Pokemon world. Because a lot of the time when you're watching the anime, it's also bright and cheery. Because even things like the bayonet, how it hunts down the one that threw it away. In the anime, the Nurse Joy and like the bayonet, like they reunited, they hugged, they cried, and they were so happy. When the Pokedex entry, it's like, I am going to kill you. Revenge. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll see you guys next time. If you guys have any more like MJ videos, if you guys want me to watch, or any like Pokemon or other videos in general that you guys think I'd like, let me know. Bye-bye!